it almost seems like these technology people are okay with the business partners who are generating revenue to linger and fester in these problems, rather than fix them. Not Band-Aid, but fix them completely, either leveraging the vendor and having the vendor fix it, or again, getting that ironclad solution in. They're working along seamlessly and effectively and efficiently, so they're getting their time back and they're generating revenue.
Welcome to Be Bold Branding, where we discuss the power of differentiating yourself through your own unique story and standout personal brand. What happens when your technology becomes your biggest business liability instead of your greatest asset? Today, we're exploring the hidden cost of tech disruptions with Rich Messenger, known as the Tech Pain Terminator, who helps driven and established CEOs eliminate technology problems promptly and permanently. With 38 years of experience working with high-level corporations, Rich has witnessed firsthand how IT roadblocks and miscommunication gaps between leadership and technical teams can paralyze operations and drain profits. Join us as this trusted advisor reveals how CEOs can bridge the communication gap with their technical teams, eliminate costly tech vulnerabilities, and transform their technology from a source of frustration into a competitive advantage that drives business growth.
Rich, welcome to Be Bold Branding.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you.
Yeah, we're excited about talking to you and learning more about you. Let's start with your background. Tell us a little bit about how you grew up and what led you to become enamored with technology.
Yeah, I appreciate the question, Michael. So I grew up, I was born in the Bronx, and then I just remember this time when I was about 4 or 5 years old, and that's when color TVs had come out. And our next door neighbor actually happened to work in TVs at that time. It's probably early technology, I guess, was TVs. And my dad had it installed, and I saw him fiddling around with those antennas on top of the TV. At one time, we did have TVs where you actually had to walk up to the TV and turn the knob to get a station. There was no remote controls. So now I'm probably dating myself and aging myself here, but
no more than us.
Yeah. Yeah, and he had, and again, the fixing the antennas was getting the better reception on that channel. And I saw him doing that, tweaking and figuring it out and going behind the TV. And I was just, as a 5-year-old, I'm like, wow, that's so cool. There's something that I gravitated to that. And I love that kind of figuring thing out. And I became the sort of the handyman around the house, my folks, and growing up and whatnot, and the person to be able to put that furniture together, if you will. You open up the box of furniture and you're like, well, all these pieces, how do I put it all together? I was that person that people called or my parents had me do. So I was just enamored at a very early age of figuring things out is really, I think, my sweet spot. And that's what I love to do. When it comes to sales and marketing, yeah, I can do it. But my sweet spot, what I love doing is really figuring things out. And that's where my childhood, my background has been, is just to figure things out, make it happen, and get things done. And it's also to show the care to people that I work with, that I care about them, and it's following through. So if I go and fix something or I do something for somebody, hey, how's that working out for you? How's that working for you now? Is it behaving for you, sort of thing? So that's, again, my background. It's figuring things out and being there for somebody, and then finding out how their experience is going after I help them.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I told Michael before we got on here, I said, Michael, you're gonna love the story of how he actually got interested in technology in the first place. I had to giggle a little bit in that story, because haven't we all had to get up and turn the television and wiggle the antennas? And of course, I wasn't as enamored as you were. Thank goodness, right, for you. But tell me, Rich, you've been doing this for a long time. Terminating those tech problems for people with many large companies. And what patterns are you seeing that repeatedly paralyze businesses and could pretty easily be prevented?
Yeah, it's those lingering tech issues, and it's, if you keep letting them linger, and again, it can be as small as Outlook every day not working, or you're clicking on something in Outlook and it's just not opening up, or you have an executive assistant that keeps changing your calendar and it's not reflecting on your calendar as a CEO. That's a problem. And that's going to keep lingering and lingering and lingering. And then that could be, again, corruption in your calendar between her being a delegate for you or her or he being a delegate for you. And then you're going in to meet people, a client, and that client's not there because that person may have updated your calendar. It's not reflecting on your calendar. So those type of lingering issues, again, or even a Zoom call, like we're on a call right now, Wi-Fi going down or your computer going down. There are these things, again, there's many variables that are experiencing on in technology or electronics perspective, where if you're not taking care of it, it's going to linger and it's going to get worse. It festers. And that's where, again, I've worked for $500 million corporations, and I walk in and when the EAs or the C-suite hear I'm there, like, oh, you're the guy that's here to fix our problems. They have a laundry list of things that need to be taken care of. And if they don't, again, especially I usually take care of them within an hour or within that week. I get laser focused and obsessed to fix their problems. And so to answer your question, it's that those lingering problems are festering, and it's just making their experience and their technology worse for them until they get it resolved.
Yeah, from small companies to super large companies, I just can't see this being something that could be passed over, right? Technology is here to stay and moving rapidly fast and very hard to keep up with. And it just seems like we're swimming in this giant sea of possibilities that nobody really has focused in on. And so, right, I mean, to ignore problems with technology is like driving on a flat tire. I think, like, it's
and there's a money and cost perspective that people have out there saying, oh, we'll just let it go, we'll bring in a new technology. And again, that's been my frustration, and I've shared it with Tanya a few times, is that when I started out on this journey and reaching out to CTOs or CIOs, I tell them what I do, and they'd wave their hand at me saying, no, we're good. But if being the tenacious person that I am, I would circumvent and I would go and speak to the executive assistant or the CEO. Well, they were telling me a whole different story.
Sure.
And that's what I was experiencing. And that was a rather big frustration for me, Michael, because I was just like, I hate calling them users, but the business partners are first. And if they're having technology that is not working for them, it's working against them. There's no gray area. And I've been saying this now for the past about 2 years. And I'm a true believer that with probably a flag going around carrying that, saying, if it's not working for you, it's working against you. And technology, I've been in it now since 1986 when technology was data processing. Okay.
Right.
And with 5.25 floppy drives with no hard drives. All right. So I've seen the evolution of these machines coming into our lives to make our lives easier and better and faster and more efficient. And if the technology is not there for you to make your life easier, so you can spend time with your family, so you can make and generate more revenue for your business, if it's not doing it, it's bringing you back. It's bringing you backwards. It's now sucking up more time. I mean, I'll throw the question off to you. How many times have you had a technology issue and you're wrestling with it? Phone, computer, and you're trying to figure out the application. What are you spending? An hour, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours? You're wrestling with it. You're trying to figure it out. Where if you just picked up the phone, called me or called somebody, 15 minutes, that's it. Done. And then you're back with your life, making it more easy and efficient. So that's been my frustration as well. Is like, it almost seems like these technology people are okay with the business partners who are generating revenue to linger and fester in these problems, rather than fix them. Not Band-Aid, but fix them completely, either leveraging the vendor and having the vendor fix it, or again, getting that ironclad solution in so they're not lingering, they're not festering, they're working along seamlessly and effectively and efficiently, so they're getting their time back and they're generating revenue. Those are the two big things that I see that we get with technology, and it's been around since '86, but it's getting there's so many options, there's so many things. You have 10 million different tabs open. You've got all these windows open. We're getting more overwhelmed by technology than us leveraging technology and having it work for us. We're working for the technology. We're slaves to the technology. Yes. And until we start leveraging it and using it efficiently as it was brought into our lives in the mid 80s, we're going to keep being slaves to it. I hope that makes sense.
That makes total sense.
It sure does. Yeah. It sure does. And, I think about, Rich, companies that hire you. And my first thought is, how many people put a lawyer on retainer?
Right.
Right. They put a lawyer on retainer. And how many times, well, let's hope, how many times they actually need that lawyer on retainer? Well, they're a decent person, not a whole lot, right? But
Well, you never know.
technology issues happen all the time. And
Oh,
I
yeah.
can tell you, if I was running a Fortune 100 company, I'd have Rich Messenger on retainer.
I
Well, yeah,
appreciate
I
you
mean,
saying that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's so true. Like even small companies, right, are still need to have that IT person because, like you said, I mean, you get locked out of QuickBooks because it's not listening to your computer for some reason, right? And it's an Intuit problem on the other end, and it's one switch away, and then your in-house accountant is spending half a day trying to figure it out rather than calling somebody.
Sound familiar?
And, yeah, it sounds very familiar. I'm speaking from experience. But it is, and so it leads to the next question, right? In keeping this theme going, what's the most common root cause of reoccurring IT problems that companies just keep throwing money at where they could just hire you?
Yeah, it's throwing the money at it is a great point. What they're doing here, they could have an IT vendor already in house. They're known as MSP, managed services provider, doing the IT support, or they have different vendors that they're using, and they keep throwing more and more money at it, thinking that it's going to resolve the problem, or more bodies at it, right? From that vendor. And we may have touched upon this here or before we started chatting here, but they need a fresh perspective. So the root cause is that fresh perspective of me coming in, not to sit here and tout my own horn, but Einstein, there's a famous quote by Einstein. I could be butchering it. I don't mean to in any disrespect, but it's, if you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, that's insanity. And it's doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result.
Right.
And that's insanity. And when you bring me in again, and most of the times when people bring me in, I'm the last resort. They've tried everything supposedly. Their staff can't get it done, and they just need it resolved. It's like, again, swooping in like Superman to fix the day. And I hate putting it that way, but that's what it really is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's the fresh perspective. It's the root cause of that is they need a fresh perspective. They have the same people working it every day, the business as usual, IT, they're doing the same thing. And you bring someone like me in, a fresh perspective, obsessed to fix the problem, someone that cares, someone that literally links arms with the CEO and the business. Because as I mentioned before, technology is the lifeline of business right now. And if your technology is not working, it's bringing you back. It's holding you down. God forbid that we lose Wi-Fi right now. This conversation's over.
You're right.
Okay. And that's a problem. At the end of the day, we live on technology in this day and age of 2025. So the root cause is, again, having that fresh perspective and bringing someone like myself from the outside to help you get those lingering problems. You can keep the regular IT staff you have doing the business as usual, it's called. They can keep that engine going. But again, there are always going to be times every day that you're going to run to a problem that those people just don't have the time, the skill, or the competence to fix it and fix it solidly.
Or it may be even the motivation sometimes, right? When it's business as usual, it's business as usual. And like one thing that me and Tanya talk about with our clients all the time, and she no doubt said it to you, like it's very hard to read the label when you're inside the jar. Like you get to come in here with that bird's eye view and say, wait just a minute, if you fix this over here, then you've cut half of the problems that you're dealing with daily, right? Because they're in it. And forest for the tree type of a thing. It's I could see where that would definitely be a handicap to big companies that rely on technology every day, even proprietary, and they need your perspective to come in here and say, wait just a minute, you're missing this because you're looking at it from the other side of the tapestry.
Yeah, I was working for a $250,000 corporation, fintech corporation, in 2023. They had first brought me in because they had a junior IT guy on site who's coming around 9:30 in the morning and then leaving at 2:30 in the afternoon for had daycare, and they only had one IT guy there. And the common situation that was occurring is that the EA to the CEO, because that's the office this junior IT was working in, was constantly calling the IT manager, because they have a headquarters out in Florida, calling the IT manager and complaining why, things were not working. So the CEO struggling with Zoom in his office, the EA to the CEO is struggling with the technology. There's a C-suite presence there. There's a bunch of another executive assistants there, and they've got an junior IT guy that's coming and going as they please. So they brought me in, and I was just told, as long as the EA does not call the IT manager in Florida, I'm doing my job. Well, I started getting in around 8:00 in the morning and working until 8:30 at night. No doubt, no lie there. Because they had so many issues and so many situations that there were about 150 people on staff there that were on site. And this is we're coming out of COVID. This is, 2023, 2022. And, and again, to me, that's quarter of $1 billion, pardon me, a $250 million corporation wrestling and struggling with technology that's supposed to be working for them, and the CEO's going on calls and looking embarrassed because things are going out and legacy technology, and it just seems like no one cared. And then you got me coming in from 8:00 in the morning to 8:00 at night, even until Friday. I remember going home on a Friday night at 9:00 at night, leaving their office, because I wanted to make sure everything was working. I was getting calls on a Sunday morning from this executive assistant because she was working on a PowerPoint presentation because they were meeting with the board on that Monday. So it's 11:00 at night. She's texting me on my phone. She's like, can we get on a call? I need to get this done. Swooped in, got on a call with her 15, 20 minutes later. I helped her fix her PowerPoint presentation.
Like what you're hearing? Hit that subscribe button and learn how you can change how you're seen and charge what you're worth.
We've got a lot of junior IT people out there just keeping the lights on, but they're not doing the stuff here to make people feel that the technology is backing things up for them. It's there for them. It's got their back. And again, we've all this technology. It's getting more complex and overwhelming. And unless people are trained properly or coached properly, like I do, and I told people I hold their hands when I show them technology or I document technology, because again, if we don't feel comfortable using it, we're not going to use it. Same thing with cars. Same thing with anything in our life. We're not going to use it. So again, we can do all these things and we can think outside the box when you have people that are going to work with you to think outside the box and make your vision happen. And that's another thing I've been doing from a technology perspective when I came into a company like that.
I love it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Well, Rich, I know by this time, anybody listening knows that you've got the goods. You know exactly what's going on and you know exactly what you're doing. Now, I want to segue into some branding questions because actually for those in the audience, we did not disclose this in the beginning, but Rich is a BrandFace client. And so I want to ask you a few questions about your BrandFace journey. First one, tell us why you came into the BrandFace program in the first place.
Yeah, it's there's some pain here, so I'm gonna share it. I was brought into the BrandFace journey. First off, I had someone had reached out to me about they wanted to brand me on LinkedIn. It wasn't you guys, it was someone else. And I had reached out to one of your clients who was Jim Hardwick, because Jim Hardwick had did a YouTube recommendation for that branding company that reached out to me. And I shared with him, the frustrations I've had. And I told this to Jim Hardwick, and he heard my frustration, he heard my pain, and he knew, how I want to make an impact to this world and the impact that I have been making to these companies. And I worked at very large Fortune 500 companies in my time. I'm not going to throw the names out there, but they're very well known. And he's like, it sounds like you've got the goods. It sounds like you're doing it. And he said to me, he's like, don't go to the people that reached out to you. Let me introduce you to Tanya, BrandFace. And we got in a call, and I shared with you my pain. I shared with you the amount of money that I've spent. I've shared with you that I've spent money on these marketing and salespeople, but darn it, they kept telling me they just can't figure out why things are not converting. They're getting the SEO I spent. And the guy said to me, I'm getting 10,000 people a month to your website. I'm sure you remember this. I'm getting 10,000 people to your website a month, but darn it, I just don't know why they're not converting. And I said this to you, and you said to me, Rich, you don't have a sales or marketing problem. You have a messaging problem. And again, it's amazing. I remember that because it hit me so hard, Tanya. It hit me so hard. And so, listen, you guys are the goods. So therefore you charge appropriately for your services, as you should. Being on the journey now for about at least, I think, 4 or 5 months now, I've learned a tremendous amount. You and your staff are extremely dedicated to the journey of your clients, just like I am with mine. You're obsessed to help me. You have people on your staff that go above and beyond. They do Loom videos that give me a step-by-step sort of hand-holding process like I do. So the expectations I expect my clients expect from me that I give my clients, you guys gave me tenfold. So that's the journey that I've been on. I mean, plus the, going and doing the photo shoot, the messaging itself. I'm reaching out to people on LinkedIn right now, and I'm getting more people at least saying, thank you or thanks for reaching out. And even possibly right now, I'm maybe having a client that I could be closing in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So I'm getting that kind of embracement from LinkedIn, where before I had paying people to do it, and they're just, I don't know, I don't know why it's happening. I'm just getting a lot of rejections. I'm not getting engagement, as they called it, where I'm getting more engagement. I'm getting more people because the authenticity that you provide in that messaging, and you and your staff work on it. So that's been my journey so far with you guys and BrandFace. I appreciate it.
Wow.
We really appreciate that also.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And it is our passion to help people beyond just a product, right? Because it does have to, the brand works for you if you know how to work the brand.
Yeah. And just one other story, Michael, I want to share is I went to a gala about 3-4 weeks ago, and I had the business cards that I had sort of created, but using again some of the logos that you guys had created for me. So I went to it. And again, you guys are the ones that came up with the Tech Pain Terminator branding for me. And it was at a gala, a lot of CEOs, a lot of very established people in this gala at the Harvard Club, mind you, here in Boston, Massachusetts. And I handed them my card and said Tech Pain Terminator on it. And I've been thinking like Tech Pain Terminator, how's it going to go over? The guy looked at the card and he flipped over the card and he looks at me and goes, I like that. I like that a lot. Where again, before meeting BrandFace and Tanya, I was just another commodity, as it's called in the IT industry. I was just another commodity. And in this day and age, it's very noisy, as I'm sure you guys, and that's the word I keep hearing out there, right? The marketing people saying it's noisy and we've got a trust deficit and blah, blah, blah. The branding, again, people have told me in the past, you don't need branding. You don't need branding. You just need to go out there. You need to, read books and stuff to that effect. The fact that what I'm talking about. The fact of the matter is that you do need to be branded, and you need to spend money on the branding if you want to stand out, and if you want to do what I'm looking to do, and that's the, I don't want to call it consulting, but it's being the Tech Pain Terminator to come in and fix people's problems that no one else can fix.
That I'm really glad that you brought that up, and also not surprised, but very glad that you're seeing that needle move with that clarity that you in the noisy world, it's got to hit people pretty quick. I mean, it's that you only got a little bit, right? To open the door to even start a elevator pitch that leads to a spotlight, highlights of your brand at a glance, and then get into the brand. Like it is a very noisy world out there. Mm-hmm. What during the process that you went through, what was the most eye-opening for you?
Ooh, yeah. When we're going on this journey, we're doing the marketing, we're reaching out cold to people on LinkedIn or email. It gets really daunting real quick. All right. We live in a world right now where we can get things very quickly. And if we don't see the results very quickly, we give up. Especially, again, we live in a world right now with inflation. We spend a lot of money because we want to pay people for what they're worth. Right. So what the eye-opening thing is really, hey, having a really strong message, believing in that message. And if I didn't believe in that message, Tanya and her staff would meet me at that place and saying, okay, let's talk about these sentences you have in your spotlight. I went back to Tanya last week and said, hey, I'm a little, I put this in the chat GPT and here's what it's spitting out. It sounds a little stronger. She's like, well, really, it's not going to, I see what you're talking. So they meet me and we talk about it. It's not a conflict. It's not, an argument. So it's really about, believing in myself, believe that or not. Again, from a branding perspective, when you're branding yourself, you have to believe in yourself. When I went to that photo shoot, I had to be in it. You know, I'm wearing a Terminator jacket like Arnold Schwarzenegger wore on the motorcycle, and I have to be that part. You know,
Sure.
I was in a networking group, and this person said to me, when you're on stage, you have to own that. You have to own that space that you're speaking from. And that's what I felt when I was in that photo shoot, was owning it. I'm jacket and tie, you know, and I've got the jacket on, I've got my shades on. I have to own it. So to answer your question, I'm going to come out and say it. You have to own it. That's what I've learned on this thing. I've been out there for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years trying to do this, but I wasn't owning it. Now, you know, with everything with desire and everything else that you can learn to think and grow rich, this is owning it. This is being in it and really believing in it and moving forward in it.
I love that.
Yeah, I do
love
too.
that.
Bravo.
I love that. And I relate, Rich. I don't know if she told you along the way, but that's how we met. I was a client of hers.
No way. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I thought that, you know, I hired her for marketing, and she sold me marketing and then taught me branding. And I had been an entrepreneur for 20 years at that time, and it would move the needle like nobody's business. I was a promoter and a marketer. I knew how to get it out there, but I didn't know what I was getting out there. And she flipped that, and it made all the difference in the world.
Well, she's got a great background from radio. She's got that background, just like I have that background with technology, right? She's got many years in it. She knows, again, exactly what she's doing. She's soft-spoken, God bless her, and she's a sweet person. And again, that's what comes along with being an entrepreneur, right? And again, someone said this to me a few years ago when I was going on this path. They said to me, business and entrepreneurship is about relationships, you know. And immediately within the first week or so, I formed the relationship with Tanya, with BrandFace, with everybody that works there, you know, attending the Tuesday meetings and showing up, right? That's what it's about. But you have to believe in the people that are providing that service to you. It's huge. I mean, if you don't believe in that person and you lose trust, it's game over. You're paying somebody to do something for you that, you know, that it's not going to work out. So again, it's having that relationship. Yeah.
I couldn't agree more. And I really, out of all the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of interviews that we've done and thousands of clients we've worked with, I like how you just said what you said about the difference in doing it and owning it. And I think that sums up as good as anybody ever in the 13, 14 years, going on 14 years that we've been doing this, with BrandFace alone. That's the best I've ever heard.
I appreciate that, Michael. And I think Tanya will say this or even knows it, that I've been telling to everybody that I've been a personal development junkie. I call myself, probably since 2018. And that was joining the John Maxwell team in 2018 and just evolving with, you know, listening to Wayne Dyer and Joe Dispenza and everybody else.
Love those guys.
Just pouring into me. So I can't take all the credit of what I'm telling you, but I constantly listen to a lot of people pouring into me. And, you know, my coach, I have a coach as well, because you can't be on this entrepreneurial journey without a coach or a mentor.
Agreed.
Yes.
And so, you know, and again, you know, Tanya's coached me along the way as well. So I'm constantly picking up pieces from other people talking with me, and that, you know, someone saying that you have to own it. That was a big aha moment to me. And again, sometimes, you know, being a technologist, I have to master technology, but man, when you hear something that hits you right in your subconscious, brother, it stays with you, you know.
It does.
Those are the things, you know. Yeah.
It sure does. It sure does. So just a couple of more quick questions for you, Rich. Like, how has your brand already helped you?
How's it helped me? It's given me the confidence, you know, and in entrepreneurship, you know, if you don't have the confidence, it's game over.
So true.
And I think that's where I've, you know, sort of, you know, have had downfalls in this journey. So, you know, going around and calling myself the Tech Pain Terminator, you know, you have to embrace it. But when I've embraced it, it's given me that level of confidence, that power. I mean, look, I've just got I got a newer motorcycle jacket and shades, and I've got, you know, a tool that I'm gonna hold in my hand, and I'm gonna start doing videos on LinkedIn. Once all that stuff comes in and shipped to me, I'm gonna start going on Loom. I'm gonna start doing videos instead of doing the texting. And I'm going to get dressed up as the Tech Pain Terminator, own it, and speak into it for, you know, 25 seconds, and then publish every day like I'm doing right now. So How has it changed? It's changed me by, again, believing more in myself and the confidence in what I offer. Again, when you don't see clients coming in, it's very easy to give up and go right back to corporate. And I've been at corporate for 38 years. And to be honest with you, I feel I've lost my soul. And I'm getting it back now by being on this journey because I feel free again. But I'm looking to offer what I offer, but it's not going to be through full time. It's coming in from the outside to provide that perspective as the Tech Pain Terminator with that brand.
I love it. That is great.
Mhm.
That is great. What would you say to others that are considering becoming a brand face?
Step into it and don't look back. Some salespeople I spoke to over the past week say, you got to take the leap of faith and, put the money in with me. And, I won't let you down. It's what I would tell people is, have the conversation, with Tanya and yourself, or even other people on your staff, and see, when you speak to Tanya or speak to people on your staff, you get to see the authenticity and the genuine people that are there, that are looking to help and really bring that ball for a touchdown, if you will, deliver the result, deliver the outcome that you're looking for. It will take time, because anything that's going to be great takes time. And again, even Jim Hardwick said to me, he's like, BrandFace is the Cadillac of the branding world, and it is. I mean, it's probably more the Mercedes or the Ferrari, to be honest with you, because that's how classy you guys are, and that's how quality you guys are.
Wow. Oh,
Thank
you just
you.
warmed my heart.
Thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Rich.
You got it.
That's fantastic.
I'm speaking from the heart. It's all true. Because again, I mean, it's only upward from here, to be honest with you. Because again, I've been on this journey for so long, and it's what I want to do, and it's what I do. It's just finding the people, the right people. And that's what I keep hearing. You can get clients all day long, but if they're not the right person that's going to understand what you do, how you do it, and respect you for doing it, that's not a client. And that's what I'm.
No, that's a nightmare.
Yeah. And I gotta say that it's clear with the interview here, Rich, because I haven't spent as much time with you as Tanya and the team have, obviously, but just in this interview alone, I can tell your sincerity, and I can tell your authenticity, and I can tell how devoted you are to being the best at what you do.
Thank you.
And that is the BrandFace thought process, and and for
Absolutely.
you to parrot that back means everything to us, because we love working with the best, and she has this God-given ability to pull that out of people and also to attract it. So you are among the family, and I know that there is massive success for you in this space because of that.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, and again, that's where there is so much people in this space, that's where you can get really associated as that commodity.
Right.
And I'll keep saying that. And again, a lot of as we keep growing as a society, a lot of jobs are becoming commodities, and that's the brand. That's why the branding is so critical to stand out. You need to live that. You need to live that brand, and that's where Tanya, in her grace and her spirit, had said to me, that's who you are, and that's the trust from a part, a client relationship.
Yeah.
I've loved this conversation so much. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And it's a pleasure to meet you, Michael.
Yeah.
I would love to chat with you and both again. This is great. Yeah, thank you.
You bet. Well, let's wrap up here and tell the audience how they can learn more about you and put you on that rich retainer is what I would like to tell them.
Yeah, so you can reach out to me on email at rm@vitalsystems, vitalitsystems.com. And RM is my initials, Richard Messenger. And I always will tell people that I do have an open door and an open phone policy, and I have no problem giving my cell phone, which is 508-801-0311, against 508-801-0311. And that's because, again, at the end of the day, I'm not your typical IT guy and lets it roll with a voicemail. And if it does go to voicemail, it means I'm on a call or a Zoom, but I usually get back to people immediately because, again, just like a fire in your home, if technology is not working for you, that's like a fire in your office, if you will, with your computer. Because, again, and that's where to go full circle on this, guys, is I used to call it sitting on hands-itis. So if you're an executive assistant and your email's down and there's a new thing now that you got to put a ticket in, almost like going to the deli counter, and getting a ticket, right? And 48, it's if the IT staff is busy that day, they're going to take care of your ticket tomorrow. Really? I mean, can you wait another day? Can you wait an hour even for that technology? And there've been so many times with executive assistants where I've gone to their desk and they're like, yeah, I put a ticket in and so didn't come. They see me walking in the hallway. Can you just help me with this? I can't wait anymore. I need to get this done for the executive that I support. Absolutely. I go over there and I fix the problem, or I, spend maybe a half hour or 45 minutes, but at least I'm there and I get them back up and running. I mean, no doubt. I mean, when I was working in corporate, and even still for some clients right now, I'll be up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. They'll get an email from me at 3 o'clock in the morning saying, okay, I fixed your problem. Please do this, this, and this, and let me know how it works. And I'll call them at 9 o'clock in the morning. Yep. Everything's all good. That's what you didn't hear from me. No news is good news. So again, full circle. It's, you with technology, you can't wait. And if you're sitting on your hands and you're going through this disease, as I call it, sitting on hands-itis, again, you're losing time. Your company is paying you to do nothing. And if CEOs are okay with people to sit on their hands and do nothing as they're paying them $50, $60, $150 an hour, God bless them. But at the end of the day, let's stop complaining about productivity and working from home, and let's give people technology that works around the clock for them, and not putting in tickets, but taking care of the problem immediately.
You got it.
Awesome.
You got it. Well, Rich, thank you so much for your confidence in us and for this continued journey and for coming into our family. We really appreciate you.
Yeah. And as I told you, Tanya, once I get started getting those clients that are coming in, I'm screaming BrandFace off the rooftops of LinkedIn. Absolutely. And Facebook. Absolutely. We got it.
Ready to change how you're seen and charge what you're worth? If you're not getting enough opportunities to meet with ideal customers, or the prospects you're meeting with just aren't ideal, it's most likely your brand that's holding you back. So if you're a coach, consultant, or expert who is on the rise, you need our ultimate guide to a freedom-based brand. Download it free now at brandfaceguide.com.